Hey everybody, how y'all doing? I'm missing Miss Barbara. She's out working in the camp, and she said she was going to try to make it by, but this is the last day of the camp, and they have a little ceremony at 4 o'clock, which is an hour away. So if she drops by, she drops by. If she doesn't, we'll catch her next Sunday. But we are at Callaway RV Park at the Bethlehem Fam Camp near Bonifay, Florida. If anybody's ever traveled I-10 through the Panhandle, you would recognize Bonifay, Chipley, Crestview, Mariana. Those are towns um, very close by. Again, Bonifay is where we are. Today, we're just going to chat. I'll try to make it an hour, but without Miss Barbara for content, or at least to keep me straight, there's no telling how I may stray from the facts. But we're going to talk about some do's and don'ts of RVing, things we've all done, things we wish we hadn't done. And I'm going to go ahead and drop a link to invite anybody who would like to come in to join me and take over Miss Barbara's part. But I want to say hello to Mel, Nettie, Living Free, Zip Codeless, Mel and Nettie. Thank y'all for being here. Shanna Craft, we really appreciate you being here. Hi, John. John is from Over the Hill RVing. Domarigato, Mr. Roboto is here. Hello, shipmate. Good to see you. Leslie Wagner is here as well. Hey, Leslie. If you're not familiar with Leslie, she is, you'd say the better half. The better half of Dustin and Leslie and Scout. Wayward Wags. Go ahead and check out their videos, and they have some interesting travels and also some great videos. If you're out there living the full-time RV life, they tell it like it is, as does Mel and Nettie from Mel Nettie Living Free Zip Codeless. They do so as well. Let's see. I've already told you where I'm at, and that's about all I got. So thanks a lot, folks, for being here. Anyway, as I was telling those who were here early, the Christian camp that we come and serve at here in Northwest Florida near Bonifay is wrapping up today. It's a 4-day event, and it's wrapping up today. And we have full hookups. We're in the campground here at the family camp, and they got a nice little quaint RV park. It's got about 20 concrete slabs out here, full hookups. So we really enjoyed ourselves over the past 4 days, and I'm going to stay. We're going to stay tonight, and then we're going to stay tomorrow, because tomorrow the gentleman who manages the camp, him and his wife, kind of talked me into taking the tractor and a blade behind it and go down here and fix the entrance to the camping area. Now, you can come into the camp from the highway, or you can come into the camp from the dirt road, but coming off the dirt road, there's been a lot of wash. It's been going on for a couple of years. And I pulled the nose of Matilda in here on Wednesday morning. And there was no way I was getting her up in this campground without scraping something somewhere, whether I was going to drag a jack or drag the rear end or catch a piece of the nose cap fiberglass. So I had to go back out and come through the camp itself to get here. So he's talked me in. They'll give us another day free. Why not? And I get to drive the tractor down there, and they're going to drop off a load of gravel tomorrow. So I'm going to level that place out, and then we're going to throw some gravel in there, and it should be good for a couple of years. So that's what our plans are over the next couple of days. And again, that will happen tomorrow. Again, today they're having their ceremony at 4 o'clock. And then me and Miss Barbara will just kind of relax because she has, I've not really been working the camp. I did do some singing last night. We played guitars and did some singing with the congregation, but that's about all I came along for, was for entertainment. And Miss Barbara has truly been working, so she is give out, and she'll be ready to catch up on some rest. Mr. Roboto says, how was your stay at Gulfport CB base? It was excellent. Let me tell you, there's two RV parks on base in Gulfport at the Construction Battalion Atlantic Command, the CB base. And one of them is just an open area. They are concrete slabs and full hookups, but it's really open. It's right next to a graveyard on one side, a fence with the road on the other side, and a family dollar store across the street. You're just kind of sitting out. It's almost like a parking lot. But the newer part that they opened up, I want to say there's about 60 sites in it. And it's located all the way across on the other side of the base, close to a lake, an on-base lake. It's very isolated as far as being off the main road. And it's very green, a lot of trees, shaded areas, and again, brand new, about 60 slots in there with full hookups. And they've got a laundry facility and a bathroom facility. And all the dumpsters are located right in the center of that new section. So yes, Mr. Roboto, it was a great stay. We highly recommend it. Melnetti Living Free Zip Codeless. They said they love the newer part too. Nice campsites. Yes, we definitely did like the new site over the old site. And the old site ain't bad. You know, for the price on base, it's not bad. It's just the new sites are just so much greener and isolated. And you just feel like you're out there. Yeah, Leslie and Dustin and Scout, they use military bases quite often, and I don't know if they've been to the CB base. We've met them at many other military bases, but yeah, you guys check that one out if you get a chance. I think you'll like it. Want to thank our channel members, B&D Crafts and More, Nursing Our Travel Bug, James Cantonese, Thrifty Angela, Idle Cruises, Foreverland RV, John at Over the Hill RV, Steve at Avenger RV Adventure, and Johnny's Journey. And if you'd like to become a member at RV Underway, there's a link right down there. You can click on that and check it out. If it's not for you, it's not for you. That's fine. You're not going to miss any of these live streams and our regular videos that we put out. Speaking of videos that we put out, I'm going to have a video coming out about our stay in Key West. That was also on a military base, but that will be coming out soon. And our most recent video was hibachi, Japanese hibachi fried rice, chicken fried rice with cashews on the Blackstone. It's kind of a quick video. It's I got the idea and the recipe from Barrett at the Gimpy Camper, so I have to give him props because he cooked it while we were together in Louisiana at the Slow Mojo Crew Rendezvous 2022. And he cooked a lot while he was down there. He always does. If you've ever been around the Gimpy Camper at a gathering or get together, a meetup, he's going to cook. You can't stop him. You just just got to get out of his way and let him do it, or help out. You know, he'll let you help out, but he did chicken and rice. I'm sorry, chicken fried rice, and we enjoyed it so much we had to give it a try. Mr. Roboto says he's going to check that out down at Gulfport, and of course, Gulfport's nice too. Some of the prettiest beaches, and they're wide open. You can actually park your RV right down on the beach in Gulfport, and in most places in Biloxi as well. I mean, I don't know if you can stay overnight, but you can definitely park your RV there and spend the entire day on the beach. So that's something to think about. Dan, the Vintage RVer, is here. Dan, the man. John Chalker is here as well. Permission to come aboard. Thank you so much, John. Permission granted. Hello from the warm and sunny Finger Lakes region of New York State. Dan, the Vintage RVer. Dan, I was heartbroken to hear about that mess y'all had up there at the Tops grocery store in New York. What can you say? It's horrible. It's horrible. But Dan, thank you for being here. We certainly appreciate it. Yes, I love the video, the chicken fried rice with cashews on the Blackstone. He says, I did a wonderful job. Thank you, John. We certainly appreciate that. I did my best. It was actually my first time cooking it. And I went ahead and videoed it so that one day when I cook it better, I can compare the videos. But it came out real good. It really did. The only thing I would do differently is I would wait a little longer to put my peas and carrots on because obviously they don't take nearly as long as the chicken does. And I had put the chicken, the cubed chicken, and the peas and carrots because the broccoli was steamed and the rice was boiling bag rice. So they were kind of prepared ahead of time. So I put the carrots, peas on at the same time I put the chicken on. And I like my peas and carrots to be a little crunchy, in my stir fry. And no, I did not put eggs in the stir fry, Mr. Roboto, not because we don't like eggs. We simply forgot that part. We were in here getting everything ready in separate bowls and everything and getting ready to shoot the video and get the meal cooked, and plumb forgot about it. But if you watch that video, take that video and add 2 eggs on the Blackstone, just scramble them up over on the side and work them right into your chicken fried rice. And that's the way you do that. Nothing special about the eggs. Scramble them up right there on the Blackstone and mix them right in with your rice. And we just simply forgot to. Dan, the Vintage RVer, yep, used to shop there when in college. Crazy times. Yeah, that was just bad news. Mr. Roboto, let's see. Adventures in Xanadu. That is Bear and Dawn. They are here. We have the wonderful pleasure of meeting Bear and Dawn at the Slow Mojo Crew Rendezvous 2022 in Bastrop, Louisiana, with Slow-Mo and BJ and Mel, Nettie, Living Free Zip Codeless, Dave's Great Adventure, and Charlie Grace, and who else was there on the ad? Barrett was there, Barrett and Valerie from the Gimpy Camper, and we got to meet Adventures in Xanadu, Bear and Dawn. It says, hey, Ricky, so funny. We both put out, I did read that comment, Bear. Bear sent me a comment the day I released the video about the chicken fried rice. He said he put out a video on the very same dish on his Blackstone the very same day. And I promise you, Bear, I had no foreknowledge of you doing it. Otherwise, I'd have let you have the stage. I knew I was going to cook it. I'd already cooked 2 meals on the Blackstone while we were in Gulfport. I cooked fish one day, some fish I had caught up on Lake Eufaula, and had it in the freezer. So I wanted to get the fish cooked. So we cooked the fish on the Blackstone, kind of used a blackening recipe And we used just a little Cajun spicing because Miss Barbara doesn't like a lot of Cajun spicing. But I blackened those catfish fillets that I had, and then we did fajitas. Now the fajitas came out great too, and again that was the Gimpy Camper's recipe. I just went simply write down his recipe in doing that. But this was our third meal on the Blackstone. I decided, what the heck, I'll make a video, and we set up the cameras and shot the video, and then I put the video on the street, and lo and behold, Bear of Adventures in Xanadu did chicken fried rice on the Blackstone and dropped the video the same day I did. So make sure, yeah, great minds think alike, Bear. Make sure that you do watch both of them. Watch the Adventures in Xanadu's video on chicken fried rice on the Blackstone, and you can watch mine as well. I certainly would appreciate it. It was funny. Yeah, indeed. Our Dez was there. Rhonda Dez was there as well. And John and Little Bit from Little Bit Crazy. John and Lisa, they were there as well at the Slow Mojo Crew Rendezvous. Mr. Roboto says, we have a recall on our RV and awaiting parts, not on the road until our trip to the Naval Station, Newport, Rhode Island, at the MWR campground over the 4th of July weekend. That sounds like a great trip, Mr. Roboto. I hope that that they get your parts in and get your RV fixed. I know that we had a lot of folks who didn't make it to the Slow Mojo Crew Rendezvous in Louisiana because they were either awaiting parts or had broke RVs, they were in the shop, or whatever the case may be. Adventures in Xanadu says, you did a much better job. I did a more ghetto version. I'm sure it's great, folks. So make sure you go by and see it. Let's see. He was talking about cooking the refried rice. Yeah, I'm mixing up Mexican and Szechuan Cantonese. No. Let's see. Dan the Vintage RVer, how you managing with the cost of diesel? Well, that's a great question. We're really going to have to kind of put the brakes on. I mean, we picked a rough time. We've actually lived in the RV for 2 years now. In an RV for 2 years now, and we've been on the road with Matilda 3, the diesel. We've been on the road with her for wow, it's coming up on a year. I think, well, summer will make a year. And that's why I need Miss Barbara here, because she straightens me out on these dates. But we have been full-time for almost a year. I mean, on the road, actually going, not just living in the RV on our property. And we're going to have to slow it down. We simply are going to have to spend a lot longer at camps than we spend on the road. Because I think the last time I filled up, it was now before I got to Bastrop, Louisiana, back at the end of April, I could buy it for $4.86. I bought it right near Jackson, Mississippi for $4.86, something like that. On my way back from Gulfport last Wednesday, we drove from Gulfport up here to Bethlehem near Bonifay, Florida. And it was $5.85. I'm sorry, $5.85. Went up $1. Went up $1 in about 2 weeks. An entire dollar, and I can't do it. I mean, we could do it, but that'd be all we'd be doing is we would buy no food or enjoying any entertainment. We'd simply be buying diesel fuel to get from spot to spot. And I sure would like to thank our president and all 6 of those idiots who voted for him. I say that out loud. Is that out loud? But I mean, we all know what the answer is. So open up the leases, open up Alaska, open up the pipeline, put folks back to work, and bring the gas prices down. We got to look out for our own. And we could sell natural gas overseas. We could be an exporter of natural gas, gas and diesel. But no, we got to buy it from, terrorists and oppressive leaders down in Venezuela and USSR of all people. Don't get me on a soapbox. I don't like to get political, so I'm not going to. Leslie says $5.13 for diesel here in Tennessee at Arnold Air Force Base. Gotcha. Mr. Roboto, we are starting to hear of shortages soon with diesel in the Northeast, which also means home heating oil. I know, I've heard that too. It's kind of scary. From Arkansas to Georgia, it cost roughly $1,200 to get from Arkansas to Georgia. That's Mel and Nettie living free, zip codeless. Dan, the vintage RVer, says, drill, baby, drill. I hear you. Here in Texas, they're getting it for $4.62. James Cantonese, he has no brain. Ricky, I agree, James. He has no brain. He's a puppet. And the other folks, I think that rabbit, that bunny rabbit, the Easter bunny in that video, that news clip, I think that's the guy or gal pulling the strings on the U.S. government. We were, then someone had other ideas. I agree with you. That's right. Adventures in Xanadu, gas is just as crazy. Part of me also thinks the big oil companies are trying to make up for the year we were locked down and nobody drove anywhere. Could be, but I know shutting down our oil production could not help. It certainly just simply could not help. Mr. Roboto, it may be the first time I was happy to have a gasser over a diesel. Well, I am actually hearing the same thing of trucking diesel fuel shortages. Now, off-road diesel, which the farmers use, I was speaking to one last night. This whole area in here is farming. And everybody everybody I was raised with and everybody we meet up here at the camp, they're all farmers, most of them. And they were talking about diesel fuel, off-road diesel for their tractors at $4.18 a gallon. Now, keep this in mind. When they're out there pulling a disharrow or they're disharrowing with their tractors, that's the biggest drag on a big diesel tractor. You can pull a peanut picker or you can pull a combine. But when you pull a disharrow, you're pulling the earth. And they're burning about 18 to 19 gallons an hour in those big John Deeres. Think about that, 18 to 19 gallons an hour. And some of these guys, they've got upwards of 8 to 10 tractors in the field all the time. And diesel fuel, off-road diesel for farming is $4.18 a gallon. Yeah, James says, I better be nice. Don't get me started. I hear you. Walking Wonderings. Thank you all for being here. I'm proud to see you out and about on the recumbents is here. That is Walking and Wonderings. That is BJ and Joe, our sister and brother-in-law. Actually, we just call them brother and sister. And they're not brothers and brother and sister. It's not like the Alabama family tree. It's not. No, it's. James Cantonese says we support our farmers here. We do too, James. Certainly do. Somebody's got to feed us. I know that Ukraine can't feed us right now. Let's see here. Mel Nettie living free zip codeless. We were only in Georgia 7 days. Then it cost us roughly $1,000 to come back to Texas. How about that? Roy and Becky are here. Roy and Becky, proud to see y'all. For those of you getting here a little late, let me just tell you that Miss Barbara is working the Christian camp here. We've been here for 5 days. The camp's been going on for 4 days, and they'll have a little ceremony to close things up here about 4 o'clock. So she's running around busy out here helping get things wrapped up. But we've had a wonderful stay, had a wonderful time, and always look forward to it. They do a couple of these. I do 4 of these every year, and we usually try to work a couple of them if we're back in the area. It's just a blessing to get out here and work the camps. But anyway, she's out there getting ready for that closing ceremony. Aloha Conk is here. Aloha, aloha, everybody. Roy and Becky are here. Say hey to Roy and Becky, everyone. Out and About on Recumbents is here. Walking Wanderings is here. So make sure you say hello to them. Dan, the Vintage RVer, I can only imagine how much fuel is in Hawaii. I don't know. You know, you can't. Remember that Georgia congressman that said if you put too many service members on Guam, you might tip the island over, capsize the island? And he's still there. That's the kind of folks we got running this country. Yeah, you can't. They wanted to increase the forces on Guam, more Air Force and more Army on Guam. And he said there needed to be a study because he was afraid they would capsize the island. Have mercy on us, folks. The Aloha Conch says we're here at the camp too. Okay, they're out there hanging around at the camp. Good. Hello, everyone. Rolling in Illinois to Texas. That's Slow-Mo out there. We were just talking about the Slow Mojo Crew Rendezvous, and what a wonderful time we had, Slow-Mo. You and BJ are such incredible hosts, and we can't wait till Slow Mojo Crew Rendezvous 2023 and that RV Blowhard competition, number dos. James Catanese and Jerry Holly have already said that they're going to take the trophy next year. They've already boasted and bragged on theirs, and they say they're going to take the trophy. We shall see. Roy and Becky says they may be closing the forest here. I told them to wait until fuel goes down, please. You're more than welcome, Slow-Mo. It's us who are thanking you because it was a fun time. The first one was fun. This one was fun. And next year will be fun as well. And James Cantonese says, that's right. Or that's right. Yeah, I got the bug when I was visiting with Slow-Mo. Barrett and Slow-Mo both do vinyl. They cut vinyl. They have those vinyl cutting machines. And yes, I went and bought me a vinyl cutting machine. Same one you got, Slow-Mo. And I got to tell you, if you cut a piece of vinyl that's very intricate, got a lot of weeding to do, meaning you take that X-Acto knife and you have to pick out all the negative areas that aren't supposed to be there. That is, for me, that is very therapeutic. I could just sit there and pluck away at that for hours, and sometimes have, as I've been playing with it now. It's a Silhouette Cameo 4, 12-inch die cutter for vinyl. And believe me, I have had a wonderful time with it. I'm having a blast. We're at Cedro Peak, New Mexico. Cedro Peak, New Mexico. That is Roy and Becky. That's where they're at. B&D Crafts and More. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you being here. Hello, Ricky. Where's Barbara? She's we're at a Christian camp, and she's working it. I didn't work it. I just came along to pick the guitar and sing a little bit, and she's working the camp. So she's out doing her duty out there. But she was going to try to make it by, but I don't think she will. One of her helpers got up with a bad headache this morning, had to go home, and so she's doing extra duty. Um, Roy and Becky Travel says it's over $400 to move 9 hours now. Used to be $200 to move 9 hours. Slow Mo says, "Oh yeah." Mel Nettie living free zip codeless. Ricky, you dance a pretty good crooked male leg dance. Woo! You just have to go check it out. It's I call it the Melvin version of the stinky leg. It's the Melvin stinky leg. You got to go see it. It's on Facebook on the Slow Mojo Crew Rendezvous Facebook page. I do believe that Nettie put it up there, but you'll have to go check it out. That was a fun night. A couple other fun nights too. Next, you'll be telling us about counted cross stitch. Well organized. We'll organize an intervention if that happens. You'll have to do it, Dan. We'll get my crochet needles out. I just find it therapeutic. I'm like, I'll show you one here. I thought it was gonna. Now this is not too intricate, as you can see. You know, you got to pick all these negative areas out. But this one, look how little it is. And I didn't know if I would ever get all of those little bitty, I mean, that thing's, some of those little lines you see on there are the size of a thread. They're just so tiny. But I've just been fiddling around with it. I did make one, I made one for the Jeep. I call it a Jeep tattoo. But Gobi, I made one for the back of Gobi. And this is what it says. So anyway, that's the only thing I've actually made that I've installed. And I installed it, for your information, Slow Mo, I installed it using the dry method. I did not use the soapy water. I think you guys are really cool. RV Underway, you guys are cool. I liked your hat too when you did the Blackstone. Yeah, that was my big sun hat. That was out there in the sun. How do you like my hat today? Yes, sir. I had to stop at Buc-ee's over in Foley, Alabama. Buc-ee's on I-10 on our way here from Gulfport, Mississippi. Mel Nettie living free zip codeless. Yes, Stanky Leg. Very fun night. And also, KT sings a great Donny Osmond, too. I do believe that's on the Slow Mojo Crew Rendezvous Facebook page as well. Yeah, no soap. No soap. I've done it with soap in the past. It just didn't work on the RV. So, and you know, it may also have a lot to do with the amount of soap. You know, it may need to be more water than soap solution. And I do believe that bottle I had was almost a half and half mixture. So way too much detergent. Because obviously you're supposed to squeegee out all of the moisture, the water that sets under it to allow you to position it while it's wet. Then you squeegee out the moisture and let it dry. And the adhesion, you know, takes over. And it's worked in the past. So I think maybe my mixture of soap and water may have been entirely wrong. We see they're opening up a Buc-ee's in Alabama on 85. Very cool. I don't know where they'd open it. There is no Highway 85, not an Interstate 85. There's no Interstate 85. Interstate 85 runs through Georgia. It doesn't run through Alabama. They've got one in Foley, Alabama. And the only interstate that we have in Alabama is I-65, which comes straight down through Birmingham, Montgomery, and then cuts over to Mobile. That's I-65. But they are, as we were leaving Gulfport, we noticed that they're building one over near Gulfport on I-10. So you're actually going to have two Buc-ee's about 100 miles apart, because the one in Foley, Alabama, on the other side of Mobile, the eastern side of Mobile, is about 100 miles from Gulfport. So, US 85. They're going to build a Buc-ee's on US 85 in Alabama. Wow. That's like building a Cracker Barrel off the interstate. It used to be you didn't see many of those. Most of them were on the interstate. We were one of the first towns in Dothan, Alabama, to get a Cracker Barrel nowhere near an interstate. Melanetti say, yes, it's under construction now. Well, that's awesome. Yes, my Buc-ee's hat looks debonair. That's what John Chalker says. Look at there. I did say we were going to talk about the do's and don'ts of RV camping. So I made up a little list, and y'all can add to it or subtract from it. On our way to Uchi Creek, we seen it. Yeah, Uchi Creek is over over near Fort Benning, south of Columbus, Georgia, on the Chattahoochee River. Do's of RV camping. Do plan ahead. And let's replace the number one with do stay where you're at until the diesel and gas prices come down. Even propane is ridiculous right now. But plan ahead. And thank God for Miss Barbara, because she does all the planning. She plans ahead. She'll tell you that she really hadn't figured everything out yet, but let me tell you, she's figured out a lot. She's learned a lot with Trip Wizard from RV Life Pro, and Trip Wizard has proven to be invaluable with her planning, because she lays it all out a year, even 2 years in advance. If we know about something, she goes ahead and puts it in there. So plan well before the trip. Planning. I would also say that, and I've said this before, if you're staying at a campground, especially if it's a Boondockers Welcome or a Harvest Host, go to Google Earth and look at the satellite image. Go ahead and zoom in on that property, because you may find that brewery is right downtown with just a small parking lot. You may find that farm is just dirt roads, inaccessible. So look at it from the air. And I would say do that with any campground. And even if you're going to be pulling into a Cracker Barrel for the night or a Bass Pro Shop or something, you'll have to excuse me. I got a scratch in my throat. If you're going to be pulling into a Bass Pro or a Cracker Barrel or a truck stop, a Flying J, a Love's, go ahead and look at it on Google Earth so you can see how to get in, how to get out, how much room you got, whether you're not going to be able to turn around, or once you nose in, do you have a way out? And it's just good to see it. Now, that's not going to tell you about who's parking there at any particular time, but it will show you the layout. Scott Jacobson Appreciation. Hello, Scott. Great to see you. Yeah, Mel and Eddie use Google Maps, because on Google Maps you can click and it basically mimics the Earth process, where it shows you the satellite imagery, show you everything about your where you're planning to stop and spend some time. If Buc-ee's had RV lanes, they would be perfect. It was like a scene from Mad Max trying to get to gas for the Class A at the Daytona store. I hear you. Now, we pulled in. We spent about an hour at Buc-ee's. We went inside for about 15 minutes and plundered around, and Miss Barbara got her fudge, and I got my beaver nuggets and a ball cap. And we made our way to the register, and then we went out and walked the dog, and we relaxed for about an hour. But I sat there. We got lucky. A guy dragging a fifth wheel pulled out, and we just pulled right in behind him and took the spot against the curb over by the dog park where they walk the dogs. So we were out of the way, but we were watching big Class A's with tag axles and a huge full-size truck behind them, trying to maneuver around to get to the gas pumps. I'm not going to Buc-ee's for the gas. I'm not going for the gas. I'm going to go for a barbecue sandwich or a good cup of coffee, or just to go in and see what's new. Miss Barbara gets some fudge and some cookies and plunder. But I really, on the Class A, I don't think about the gas. I'm going to a truck lane for my gas, or at least a diesel pump that's quickly accessible or easily accessible. So that's not why, but I did. I watched some huge Class A's try to get in and out there as well. Again, everybody say hello to Scott Jacobs in appreciation. Arkansas Woodcutter. If I hadn't said it already, I know I said it on the last live stream. And sir, thank you so much for your devotion that morning. Scott preached for us. He preached a devotion about the wells, where you draw the water, where Jesus met the woman at the well. Talked about the wells in our lives. That was the Arkansas Woodcutter, and that was Sunday morning at the Slow Mojo Crew Rendezvous 2022. It was great to see him and his wife. They stopped by, and again, we really appreciate that devotion you gave that morning. There is a Buc-ee's in Leeds, Alabama. Well, that would have to be the one. That would have to be the one they're talking about. In Leeds, Alabama. I'm trying to remember where Leeds is. Scott Jacob and Arkansas Woodcutter saying hello to everybody. Thrifty Angela is here. Hi, Thrifty Angela. Good to see you. Sorry, Miss Barbara's not here to say hello. She's busy. But it's great to see you guys. Mel Nettie, Living Free Zip Codeless, says it was amazing. That's absolutely right. All right, plan ahead. Plan ahead. Let's go ahead and throw a don't in there. And I try my best not to be guilty of this, but don't ignore your RV maintenance. At the very least, your RV maintenance should include your tires, your oil, your generator. That's at the very least. You've got to look out for those tires, because they're standing between you and the road, and you and a real bad accident. And if you don't keep that motor, that diesel or gasser taken care of, it'll strand you beside the highway too. And when you get stranded beside the highway and you need that generator, you didn't maintenance it, you ain't got no generator. Filters, fuel filters, oil filters, breathers. Change your oil. Change your breather on the diesel. That's the absolute must-dos, but there is an incredible list. Usually in your manual or on the website for your RV, they'll give you a breakdown of the maintenance schedule so that you'll know what you need to do yearly, what you need to do quarterly, what you need to do monthly, and what you should do before every single trip, and what you should do when you come home from every single trip. But RV maintenance is a must, and anybody who drove trucks like James Cantonese for a living And Mel and Nettie, you gotta maintenance. If you don't maintenance, you're asking for trouble. Uh, Slow Mo says, I got your Yeti tumbler, must have left it there. RV maintenance is paramount. Absolutely. Also bring tools. You right. And fresh underwear. Mom would be proud. That's right. As a matter of fact, my next due was going to be bring along spare parts and tools. Make sure you got the tools you need. Here's a for instance. Do you have the tool to take those tire covers off? You know, the fake lugs, the chrome lugs. You got to have a tool to take that off. A pair of pliers ain't going to get it. Tire tool ain't going to get it. That's a special tool for your RV if you have a big one. There's some tools that you need that are specialty tools, and you need to know what they are and whether or not you got one on board. Now, I carry a huge toolbox. I also found that deep sockets are a must. Have a full set of SAE and metric deep sockets. They have proven invaluable. Just got the trunk maintenance done, $300. Maintenance is a must. Mel cannot live without his tools. I know Mel. No, he can't. But you got to have the tools you need. And I found 2 large crescent wrenches. You're not going to work on your propane system anywhere on that RV without 2 large crescent wrenches. You just ain't going to do it. So just little things like that. And deep sockets. If I could emphasize one thing, deep sockets are a must. James Catany says, I've got to have my tools. Absolutely. Roy and Becky Travels. It's not maintenance on a 40-year-old rig. It's a love affair. I hear you. They're talking about Honey, their RV. All right, let's go ahead and look at a don't. Don't overpack the RV. That is one of the hardest things for new RVers to get used to. Is I don't need all this stuff. And those of us who have been on the road 2, 3, 4 or more years, we now know what it is we have to have. We know what our must-haves are, and we have them. Not all that extra. I used to travel with about 8 folding chairs, thinking that I was going to supply a folding chair for everybody that came to visit, and I was going to have a big crew around the campfire, strumming the guitar and singing songs and having a good time. Everybody's got their own chairs. You need 2 real comfortable chairs that you like. 2. Now, we do have 4 chairs because Miss Barbara likes our rockers, the folding rockers, and she likes the Chase Lounge, the anti-gravity chair, the one you can spread out on. So she likes those. So I keep those, and I keep the rockers. And I used to travel with all of my Lodge cast iron. Can you imagine how heavy that was? 20 pieces of pots, pans, and lids made out of cast iron. And then I got trays for my coals and all kinds of tools to work with. And I rarely used my Dutch oven or my cast iron cookware. So I just leave it at the house. And if I really think I want to make a menu item on a trip, then I'll put the Dutch oven in there, whatever quart size I want. I'll put it in there just that for that trip. But I was traveling with all that. I had bays full of you name it. And then we finally figured out what it was we needed, what we actually had to have. Scott Jacobs says, I just plan to borrow all my tools. You just go over to another campsite and say, hey, I'll borrow your crescent wrench. I need 2 of them while you're at it. Roy and Becky says, get a 40-year-old rig and you only need half of the tools in the toolkit these days. No metric needed. I hear you. Dan, the vintage RVer, don't overpack. Can you talk to my wife? We packed for a trip to Mars last year. I was really talking more about the outside of the RV, but you're right. You make a valid point. The inside of the RV as well. And since we live in our RV full time, our closet, I had to go in there and reinforce the closet bar, the hanger bar, because on one trip it just totally fell off the wall. The bracket come loose and everything. It was so heavy. So yeah, I hear you. We're getting better. We're getting better about the inside of the RV, about downsizing on the inside. And it's a lot like the outside. You know what you need. Mr. Roboto, AJ squirreled away. Oh, I'm sorry, AJ squared away. I thought you meant squirreled away, like packing your RV. Mel has 3 guitars. Well, I've got 2. He can't do without. Well, I've got 2 and I can do without one of them. I rarely play the nylon string guitar, the Spanish guitar. I rarely play that one. It's in my closet, standing up with my hanging clothes, and my other one is in the case, and I keep it right here underneath the desk, up against the front, tucked underneath. But I could really, But the problem is, or the thing is, the Spanish guitar doesn't weigh anything. It's lightweight. It's lightweight wood. It's nylon strings. It's not a heavy guitar, and there's no case. It's soft case. It's just. Also, you want to make you curtains, Scott. Miss Barbara's already talking about curtains, Nettie. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate that. Now she's talking about changing out the valances and the curtain, putting curtains in, and I was looking at taking it easy, just doing my yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily maintenance. Now I've got to start changing things. Let's see here. Anybody come in that I don't want to miss anyone, but I really thank y'all for being here. I did say we're going to give away a $10 Amazon gift card. And we're going to do that here in just a couple of minutes. Here's another do. This is a must do. This is a must do right here. Also, Danny Vintage RVer says about packing. Do you have some really long luggage, a bungee cord for all those kitchen doors back there? No, actually, those latches are real strong. We've only got one door that may swing open if we didn't wrap a very small bungee around the handle. And that's the one that was made for the washer dryer combo. There's a compartment in the back next to the closet that's made for a washer dryer combo. And it's got all the hookups, power and water and drain. But it wasn't, I guess the doors were an afterthought. They're not latching doors. Somebody put Velcro in there and the doors just kind of stay closed on the Velcro, but not when we're rolling down the road. And Miss Barbara uses that for Tupperware containers, holding our various clothing items, socks and underwear and stuff like that. So she wraps a little bungee cord around the handle, and that takes care of that while we travel. But none of these, we've never had a door pop open. We've never had a fridge pop open. We've never had the pantry pop open. And they all latch. They're pretty strong. They're pretty strong latches. I found a home for my crock pot and rice cooker. I don't use them anymore. We use a one pot now. I think we still have the air fryer and there's the air fryer, and we still have the Instapot. So we got an air fryer, Instapot. We have a toaster, a can opener, and this little bitty rinky dinky egg steamer, egg boiler, egg cooker. Other than that, that's the electric appliances we have in the kitchen. One day I wish we could all caravan to Alaska. Wouldn't that be cool, Slow-Mo? Alaska is on my bucket list. Anyway, stay prepared for things to go wrong. That is a do. We're going to go ahead and make this our last one. Stay prepared. Be like a Boy Scout, Cub Scout. Be prepared. Be prepared. Because it's going to go wrong. It ain't always going to go right. More often than not, it's going to go wrong. You're gonna be dragging your tow vehicle and you're gonna pull into a truck stop, and all of a sudden you realize you're pulling in the out lane and there's no out for the in lane, and you can't turn around without taking the tow loose, moving the tow out of the way, doing the little back around like this, pull it out, hook the tow back up, and of course by the time you get gas, and you've already lost a whole hour or more at the truck stop. So be prepared. What will go wrong will go wrong. Murphy's Law. The two of my favorite Murphy's laws. If you drop an item while you're working, you drop an item, it's going to hit the ground and roll to the least accessible spot, whether it's under a couch, under a tire, out of reach while you're underneath the RV. It's going to roll to the least accessible spot. Number 2 of that rule, if it's a large, heavy item, it will strike your foot before it rolls to the least accessible spot. So there you have it. It's I would love to go to Alaska. I know, Thrifty Angela, that's cool. We have an Instapot and air fryer. Yeah. Got to test our chicken switches too. Yeah. The chicken switches on the diesel RV scare me, the one with the air ride and the air brakes, because if you lose air pressure, your brakes will lock immediately. And I've often wondered when I was young and driving, I'd say, what are all these black marks on the highway, these skid marks, and how in the hell could somebody make that kind of a black mark on the highway? You lose those air brakes and lock all 6 of your tires up on an RV, you'll make those black marks on the highway and shake everything out of your cabinets too. I guarantee cabinets open on that one. Oh gosh, how many times I have unhooked at a gas station. Scott, I'm with you, man. I've done it more than I need to. You think I learned my lesson by now and go to Google Earth and look at it. All right, folks, I want to give away this $10 Amazon e-gift card. First, I want to thank all of our members, B&D Crafts and More, Nursing Our Travel Bug, James Cat Denise, Thrifty Angela, Idle Cruises, Foreverland RV, Over the Hill RV, John, Steve at Avenger RV Adventure, and Johnny's Journey. Thank y'all for being members. We really appreciate it. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to ask you to type prepared, P-R-E-P-A-R-E-D, prepared. Type the word prepared. Be prepared, but type the word prepared in there. And I'm going to bring up the giveaway tool, and we're going to type it in here, and we're going to give ourselves away a $10 Amazon e-gift card. I'm going to share a Chrome tab, giveaway. This broadcast, P-R-E-P-A-R-E-D, prepared. And we're going to start collecting those. Folks, I just want to thank y'all so much for being with us on this Sunday, or being with me. Miss Barbara's here in spirit. And we really thank y'all. We get a kick out of being here with you on Sundays and putting out an occasional video and just hanging out, shooting the breeze with you. And we thank you for taking time out of your busy Sunday and spending it with us. But we really do appreciate it. Prepared. Scott says prepared, almost. Prepared. P-R-E-P-A-R-E-D. Prepared. Let's see how many we got. We got 8 of you folks. We're going to give you just another minute because it's 4 o'clock right now. So I tell you what, on 3, on 2, remember to type the word prepared. On one. Good luck, everybody. There's 9 of you. There's 9. How about 10? You sure there's not 10? One more, one more. The word prepared, Prepared. Here we go. We're going to draw it. Good luck. Let's see who our winner is going to be. This is a $10 Amazon gift card. Thank y'all so much for being here. And congratulations to Roy and Becky's Travel. There's $10. That'll buy you about, that'll buy you a can of fumes for honey. Won't even buy you an oil filter. Anyway, congratulations, Roy and Becky. $10 Amazon gift card. Shoot us an email just in case we don't have your email, Roy and Becky, to rvunderway@gmail.com. rvunderway@gmail.com. We'll get you that $10 Amazon gift card right out. Thank y'all so much for being here. We certainly appreciate it. And hope y'all have a great week. We'll see you next Sunday. We're going to be over on Lake Eufaula, up on Lake Eufaula next Sunday. We'll talk to you then. God bless you. And until we see you again, fair winds, following seas. Bye, y'all.